So today is August 5th, and I wanted to do an update about my garden since I haven't done so in quite a long time. What you're looking at now is one of the green bean beds, and those I actually harvested a week and a half ago, and I planted new seed. So this is zone 5B, and you can probably see some of the new bean sprouts popping up here. So those will be ready to harvest before the first frost, which is great. So what I would suggest is if your family likes green beans, you need to really plant a lot of them to be able to can, because it takes a lot of green beans just to make, a couple quart jars. And so this one raised bed is definitely not enough. I have other beans planted elsewhere, which I'll show in a few minutes. Over here, this is where carrots were just as of this morning, and I harvested those. Something that I could have done better with the carrots is I think I could have watered them a little bit more. Carrots do like a whole lot of water, and I don't think I did the watering justice because we've had such high temperatures here in Indiana this summer. So if you do plant carrots, make sure you give them a lot of water on a regular basis. And this bed, I will plant more carrots this weekend, and those will be harvestable maybe by late October, early November. And that is my blackberry and raspberry area. It's way, way overgrown. I don't know really what I'm going to do about this. I will probably need to seek some expert opinion about what to do. But I'll get a close-up of the blackberries and you can see. What do you see right here is I'm actually trying to propagate my blackberries because these ones on this side are particularly enormous and taste amazing. So I'm putting the tips down into some buckets of dirt when I have them zip tied there, and hopefully they'll take some root, and once they do, I'll cut those branches free. I'm doing the same thing here in these Ziploc bags just to see if that will work. That's just an example of these blackberries. These are small compared to the way that the other ones were that have already been harvested. They were absolutely enormous. But again, these are really, really, really big and wide, and I'm going to have to do something about that before next season. The tomatoes are very sad, and I've definitely learned a really hard lesson this year about growing tomatoes. So these tomatoes are in containers, and you see the video, or I showed you a video about putting tomatoes in containers. I think it takes a better gardener than a novice to be able to do this successfully. You do have to make sure that you feed your tomatoes on a regular basis and make sure that they are watered daily. And even then, these are quite sad looking compared to my in-ground tomatoes, which I'm going to show you in a second. So what you see right here is super sauce tomatoes right there. And then the one back there, I honestly cannot remember what those are called. I didn't put a label on that. But look at the difference between these ones and the ones in the containers. It's a very distinct difference. And I think it's because the nutrients, stay in the soil, and the tomatoes are very happy and very healthy. So next year, when I make my videos, you're going to see that I will have my tomatoes in the ground for sure. That is my absolutely enormous basil bush. I haven't harvested the basil yet, except for a few meals. I plan to harvest them and dry them, the basil leaves. That purple plant there is called hyssop. It smells fabulous, and it really brings the bees, as you can see. And then in the back there are the grapes. Now, if you can see, I'll get closer in a minute, but I don't want to make people sick, but there are definitely grapes that are changing color on there. But I have no idea when I'm supposed to harvest them. So that's something that I will need to be looking up to know. I have, I think, 4 different grape varieties in there. all of which are seedless. And those are peppers, and then there's a tomato plant thrown in there as well. So here I am by my grapes, and I did try some of these yesterday. So they seem to be pretty juicy. Not bad, still a little bit tart. I really have no idea what kind these are, but I'm just tickled to death that I actually grew grapes. The Japanese beetles did a number on the grape leaves, as you can see here. And then next year I'm going to have to be very prepared for that. So these are Brussels sprouts, and Brussels sprouts are more of a cool weather crop than a hot weather crop. I don't think that they've been very happy with the amount of heat that we have had, which is not normal for our climate. But if you see down here, there are sprouts. On this one, they're awfully small, so you can sort of see. I think on this, yes, on this one they are much bigger, and I'm going to need to harvest these soon and make them for dinner. Brussels sprouts take up a lot of space. As you can see, they're quite tall. And then next to them I have some kale that I also have not done a good job of harvesting because I have a full-time job and a part-time job and a bunch of kids and now a new puppy who's, by the way, right there. His name is Hank. And these are some peppers. The peppers have done really, really, really well. I actually can say that my peppers in containers have done better than my peppers in the ground. So next year I will definitely grow my peppers in containers, not put them in the ground. There are beets down there in the middle. If you can see, I've never grown beets before. I have no idea even what they taste like, but I figured I'd give it a try. And so here's another view of the very sad tomato situation. They're growing. I guess I can't complain too much, but they are definitely not pretty. They're cracking and trying to survive. So this is my other garden. Those are sweet potatoes right there. I really don't know how the sweet potatoes are going to do. My potatoes that I grew in containers, they taste fantastic, but they definitely, I did not get to harvest very many. And he's going to dig into my brand new planted beans. Hopefully not. So right there are some pole beans growing up those poles. I have not been very successful with pole beans compared to the bush beans. I know a lot of people prefer pole beans. It could be because I have them in containers versus, in the ground. This is a container. Let me see if you can see that. Okay, and this is more beans that I planted probably 3 weeks ago. Yeah, so those should be showing. Yep, we got a baby green bean here. Look at the little baby. So cute. Yes, so I'm excited about having a lot more beans. These annuals that I threw in the asparagus patch are totally taking over. But I have some jalapenos over here. This one's gone red. I don't really know what that means. Oh, there's another red one over there. These ones are hot jalapenos. Make some salsa out of that. And then back there, you can see I've got another set of pole beans. That one seems to be happier than the one I just showed you. So over here in the ground, I decided to plant some more bean seeds. They're popping up. I'm pretty excited about that. So I planted some here in the ground. I also planted some here against my makeshift fence. And then I planted some over here as well against that makeshift fence. And then you never know with dogs what they're going to do with your plants. And here are some peppers. The lawn mowing guy is totally messing with my video game. These are big Bertha peppers. Look at those mammoth things. Those are going to be ready to harvest really soon. And then I've got some more peppers here. And then these are all of the blueberries. And those really didn't fruit this year. They're new. I've got those different blueberries, and then on either side of the swing, that's a blueberry and that's a blueberry, and they will probably fruit next year. Over here in the asparagus patch, I've got a volunteer tomato. I threw compost in the asparagus patch. Oh, look at the butterfly. How pretty. So I threw some compost here in the asparagus patch, and it grew this tomato. I really don't know what kind of tomato it's going to be, but it looks to be a very happy and healthy tomato, which is exciting. Over here I have the strawberry tower, which I showed, I believe I took a video of the strawberry tower. It's doing very, very well. I'm going to make a different strawberry tower for next season with PVC, but I put all the runners in a container here. That way I can propagate. These are Albion strawberries, and they are definitely fantastic. There's that butterfly again. That's huge. I'm really not a fan of butterflies. Really don't want to get very close. They are like moths, and moths freak me out. But the colors of that butterfly are quite beautiful. I don't know what it's doing, getting something from the zinnia. So over here I have hot peppers, and then a couple more container tomatoes. The pathetic cucumbers that never, just don't even ask. These are some more tomatoes. And then over here I've got the melons. And the biggest watermelon actually fell off of its, I don't know what you would call it, but it was hanging here in nylons, and it broke. The nylon didn't break, but I cannot think of the word. I'm having a total other brain fart, where the melon was attached to its stem. Its stem broke. That's the word I want. So I don't have that many watermelons, as you can see, but I'm pretty excited about the ones that I do have. So that's my garden so far. Hopefully I will have some more videos for you. I've not been doing a very good job of keeping up with those videos, but I'm going to try.